welcome to Delta Lodge Outdoors. I'm your host, Julius Craig. This is a show where we attempt to bring quality information on topics to people and work and listen from our viewers and guests on what's going on in the industry and just overall have fun. You might learn something, you might not, but we're going to have fun doing it. Welcome to today's episode of Delta Lodge Outdoors. On today's episode, we're just going to dive into it. We're going to talk different apps that they have out to help in your hunt and which ones I use and why, and not saying they're better than any other one, just something I've always stuck with. The first one I'm going to dive into is for mapping, I use HuntWise. I've been with them since probably the original iPhones. I like the stuff they have and offer, and they've gotten more stuff especially here in the last few years. I use that one on my phone, and it's also on my iPad where I have those where I can do some e-scouting when I'm out and about. That's my mapping app that I use. Like I said, there's probably 15 other ones out there. I prefer it. Then I will also use the DeerCast app, which is through Jewelry Outdoors, and you can map stuff on it. But I like it for my barometric pressure, to know roughly what my winds are and my sunrise and sunset, etc. And I can go out so many days on it. Depends on if it gets free or the paid app. I use that one I like to keep an eye on my barometric pressure. I like to keep an eye on what their projected winds are and where they're from. And those two, my mapping app and that one, I can map off of my jewelry. I like to use both. And I also have the jewelry set up where I can drop stuff. I can add stuff to it. Then I have a couple buddies that can log into it that can look at what I'm doing and add pins or ask questions or whatever from there, because we hunt together and it kind of works that way for us. I don't throw them on the HuntWise app because, like I said, I've been using that app for probably 15 years or longer now, and have an extreme lot of stuff on it that's overloaded with pins, and I know what I save my pins as. On that one, I've gotten better now that that's why I use the other one, like I said, with the group. That way I put stuff in there that they understand, because if I go with what my normal abbreviations and shortcuts is for labeling stuff, good luck figuring it out, because sometimes I have to be like, what the hell was I thinking and writing there? So that's my two I basically use for mapping. Like I said, there's many others out there. I've got one of my buddies uses Spartan. My brother-in-law uses Hunt Stand, I believe, or Onyx. So it's just different ones out there. Those are my go-to. And then I will also use an app. I use it for fishing or hunting. It's called Windy, WINDY, Windy app. And it gives you your wind direction. And you can set it in kilometers or miles per hour. But it'll give you the exact wind at the given time, for what you got going on. Like right now here at my place, it's 6.1 knots out of the west. Definitely the wrong wind to be hunting with for here. And that's at 6 a.m. at 9. It goes to 6.9 out of the west, and it's starting to shift to the northwest. And by noon, we're at northwest. It's 3 p.m. northwest. By 6 p.m. it's out of the north for us. So that I use that one for that. Then I can jump in all the way up to next Saturday, for example, and if it holds, it's showing a 18 knot south wind at 6 a.m. The wind's supposed to be out of the south pretty hard all day. And then Sunday, if it holds, Sunday's a replica of it. When it starts to shift to the southwest, and then west-southwest, then due west towards the end of the day. So that's what I use for my wind, and I use it just, like I said, I've used it for fishing and hunting. It gives me an idea of what exactly is going on. Those are my main apps I use on my mobile devices when I'm out and about for hunting and everything. Then I will use, a lot of people don't go with feeding times. I don't per se hunt by them, but I like to know. I use an app called Hunting Times due to the fact that it gives me my tells me when my full moon is, tells me when my new moon is, my sunrise, my sunset. It has the feeding times on it, and you know, some people don't believe in them, some do. I'm kind of like 50-50 because a lot of the times when you use cameras, and I understand there's other stuff that goes into it, but you can verify that it's usually pretty close to these times that they give you in here that the activity picks up. Those are like my major three that I use on my mobile setup. Now, like that's like I said, they're on iPad, iPhone. I use them like that. Now, sitting at my desktop, I will use Google Earth Pro. Excuse me. The reason I like to use Google Earth Pro is because I can go in here and I can pull a map up of an area, and then I can also look at previous maps of that area, drop pins on it, move it back to today's, the newest one they have, and those pins will stay where they're at, and it has my GPS coordinates on those pins. The main reason, and like where I got into doing this was fishing. I can go back and look at areas where water was really low and map stuff out on there that, so I had a general idea where it was at to go to it. That way I wasn't just riding around scanning, searching with down imaging or my front facing sonar and all that after I got somewhere. Having used front facing, but I wasn't just like side and down imaging the entire time riding around, when I could do this on the computer, copy them over to a SIM card, then put the SIM card in my GPS unit on my boat and go exactly to where I wanted to those pins, drop my, either scan it with forward or with down or side imaging, or know exactly if I'm, pull up, drop my forward facing sonar and start and look at underwater bridges and stuff that are there, and I have the exact pins for them. Well, I've transferred that over to hunting because it gives me, a lot of times I can find the old laydown yards when they logged and stuff like that, and I can drop pins on it. I can also plug it into a handheld GPS unit and have it where I can go exactly to it with like that. Those are just some basic things that I do. I don't live or die by them, but that's my, I guess I would say, comfort zone in those, and that's the ones I go with. And I know there's a lot of different types out there that people use. I use those. Probably my favorite thing to use is, like I said, in front of my computer, especially for e-scouting, is Google Earth Pro, where I can go in there and look at stuff from, it could be anywhere from a year old to 20 years old. Just depends on how much imaging they have for that area. And it's winter, summer. Excuse me, sorry. It gives you different times of year to look at it. When it could be in droughts, it could be in wet weather. Like I said, it works really great for fishing. I've moved it over to the hunting side, and it's helped me locate a lot of stuff, and that's how I eliminate the process of things. And it's like, listen to different podcasts. You got guys that talk about, what is it? Plug, copy, paste, repeat. Like, you find an area, you go look at it, and it works. Well, what was with that area? Why did it work? Once you figure those things out, that means you can start looking for exact situations, replicas of those situations, and go in and have eliminated a bunch of area and go from there. And that eliminates a lot of your time of, sorry, I'm making noise, taking BC powder, I have a headache. So that eliminates a lot of your time that you're wasting walking 25 areas to see if they're signed and putting scent everywhere. You can eliminate some because most of the time they're gonna repeat. So there's that. Like I said, everybody's got their own thing that they do or don't do. Those are mine. Like I said, I like how they work for me. They may not work right for everybody else, but I feel confident that, you can send me a map of an area, give me a little bit of time, and I can send it back to you and locate and have you on deer within 3 or 4 spots just from looking at your aerial map and being able to use the things I use, or having your location and use the things that I use. I also have a lot of experience doing it, and it goes back into why do I not post pictures of a bunch of huge deer I kill? First, I don't hunt as heavy as some of these other guys. Like right now, I've hunted my place. I hunted public land a few evenings, I've got about 6 evenings, of a total of about 12 hours of public land hunting this year. Saw does every trip, could have killed. Ended up taking my son out there twice in those 6 trips or 8 trips. Here at the ranch, I've done the same thing. It's been mainly hunting with my kids, and not making excuses, but I also film my stuff, and I have videos of seeing deer pretty much every trip. I'm very selective on what I shoot. Yeah, I shot a young deer last year. Total, screw up on that. He would have been a hammer. But I'm very selective on what I shoot, and I'll be honest with you. Sometimes my main reason of not shooting anything is I'm lazy after the fact. I don't feel like doing the work. I know that's a bad thing to say, but it's like I enjoyed the knowing that I could have did it. Looking over the list this year, I think I've had 15, 20 deer on 20 hunts within bow range, and part of those hunts I've had my son with me, probably a third of those. So out of, say if it's 15 hunts, 5 to 7 of those my 10-year-old son's been with me, so not bad. Like I said, I could have shot, I just haven't. Just not interested in what I've had the opportunity to shoot so far, and I'm just thankful that I'm putting myself in the positions to have the opportunity to shoot, because I know with continuously doing that, you're going to put yourself in a position to harvest a really good deer, really mature animal. So that's where we're at with that. Like I said, those are the items I use. Those are the reasons why I use those items. It's to each their own. I'm not saying what I do is better. It's just, or not. It works for me. It may not work for you. And I do things different than some people. That's where we're at with those items. If I would like y'all to reach out to me and tell me what you use and why, and whether you use what I use, whether you have something different. I'm very interested in knowing what y'all use and why. So I've got to reach out to a couple guys, like a bunch of just time and everything's went by, and then we were supposed to have several guests on here, and I've dropped the ball on that. So I apologize to these guys. I've been texting with some of them. I need to, like I said, I've swapped jobs, so that's what we've had going on. I've been focused on having different things with that. Sorry, didn't mean to drop something on the keyboard. Different things with that. So no excuses. Just have to get better at doing, so that I can get y'all some good guests in here. And I have to quit. Get my head out my ass, get myself back in the game, and start doing. So this one will drop the 12th. So tomorrow's the 11th. Let's see. Today is the 10th that I'm recording it on. Tomorrow's the 11th, which is Veterans Day. It will not drop to the 12th. But I also want to take time to thank every veteran out there for the service, that and the families of veterans. Because Memorial Day and Veterans Day is 2 different things. I get that. Memorial Day, we've lost somebody. Veterans Day is for the guys that have served, and gals that have served. But their families have gave up a lot too with them serving, and we're appreciative of families being able to make that sacrifice along with those men and women that have served to protect us and give us our rights that we have, and that we should be extremely thankful for, and the democracy that we have. It doesn't matter what way you believe, Democrat or Republican, you still have the right to believe those things. Be thankful for that, because we're one of the only nations that have it. I don't want to Well, the election's over with and done with, which is what I'm thankful for. I usually don't put my beliefs out one way or the other, but I think the election went the way it needed to go. I was not pleased with the last 4 years. Interest rates are doubled. Inflation's through the roof. Like, I don't think that going Democrat again would have changed it. I hope Trump can stand on what he says he can do and makes it happen. I'm not going to turn this into a political show today, so that's where I'll stop on that. Like I always say, introduce somebody to outdoors. You never know what it'll mean to them. Thank y'all for y'all's time. Thank y'all for listening to us. Thank y'all for being there. We're grateful for your support. Please continue to, give us some feedback on everything. And if you're looking to be a guest, if you want to be a guest on the show, let us know. We can talk hunting. We can talk fishing. We can just talk. Like, let me know what you want to do. Julius Craig, Delta Lodge Outdoor.